Okay, so today we are talking about an incredible story of transformation happening down in San Pedro, California. And it's happening on two totally different scales. On one hand, you've got a whole city literally pouring concrete and steel to build its future. And on the other, you have a family pouring their heart and soul into a century-old building, getting it ready to give that future a voice. $112.1 million. Just let that number sink in for a second. That is the massive investment the Port of Los Angeles is making in a single pedestrian bridge to connect the community to its brand new waterfront. This isn't just construction, it is a huge, bold statement about the future, written in capital and steel. But at the exact same time, literally just a few streets away, a completely different kind of revival was taking shape. This one wasn't measured in dollars, but in heartbeats. When therapist Jennifer Wolfe first stepped inside a forgotten, neglected old building, she didn't see a teardown. No, she saw a patient that needed healing. So let's start with the big picture here. You can really think of what's happening in San Pedro as a massive hardware upgrade for the entire city. I mean, look at this. The Port of Los Angeles is not playing around. They're dropping nearly $70 million on a new cruise terminal to handle bigger ships. There's that massive pedestrian bridge we just talked about, a state-of-the-art visitor center for the iconic battleship Iowa, and of course, the West Harbor Waterfront, all gearing up to launch around 2026. They are literally building a world-class stage. But that brings up a really crucial question, right? You can build the most incredible hardware in the world, but who's going to provide the software? With this amazing stage being built, who's going to tell the stories that actually bring it to life? And that is where our story zooms in. We're going from this sprawling port to one specific, historic address, 363 West 6th Street. This is where that software is finding its home. You know, this building, it's not just brick and mortar. It has lived so many lives. It started out as a JCPenney back in 1922, became a buzzing call center in the 80s, and then a super high-energy dance studio in the 2000s. And then, in 2020, the music just stopped. The doors closed, it went silent. So when Jennifer Wolfe, the therapist, first walked in, she saw that patient. And the diagnosis? Well, it was pretty grim. The roof was leaking in 17 different places, timber was water damaged, and you could just feel the deep scars from years of neglect. But the prognosis? That was full of hope. She saw an incubator, a place for local dreamers to finally find their voice. So the whole philosophy behind healing this building, giving it a new soul, it comes from two people who taught the founders everything they know about love and, maybe most importantly, about resilience. The entire project's foundation is just this beautiful tribute. See, Dawn Allen isn't some corporate branding. It's a combination of Jennifer's parents' names. Her mom, Donna, a psychologist, was the lantern, the one who taught that real empathy is a discipline. The dad, Alan, a cardiologist who became a venture capitalist, he was the spine, who believed that optimism is a strategy. It's this perfect marriage of soul and strength. And deep down in the basement of this building, they're creating the Voxel Micro Video Labs. The name itself is this amazing story of persistence. Decades ago, Jennifer's dad, Alan, poured everything into this ambitious medical imaging company called Voxel. And that venture, it failed. But in the Wolfe family, failure was never the end of the story. Alan truly believed it was just a rough draft of success. So they named the lab Voxel to honor that powerful idea, that resilience can take something from the past, even a failure, and give it an amazing new future. But this whole thing, this massive, difficult, soul-crushing project, it wasn't just about honoring the past. What really galvanized it, what kicked it into high gear, was one small but incredibly powerful event. 18 years. For 18 years, Jennifer and her partner Edwin built their life together. They grew up, they weathered storms, they built careers, and then, after almost 2 decades, their son, Nathan, arrived, and he changed their entire perspective. Because suddenly, with the arrival of their son, this huge question came roaring into focus. What are we actually leaving for him? Not just, money or a few memories, but what tangible thing could they leave behind for him to actually see and touch? What could he point to one day and say, they were here, my parents built that? But oh man, turning that promise into a physical reality was a brutal fight. They found dangerous electrical wiring from the 1950s, discovered that fire sprinklers had been painted shut, and just watched as their budget exploded and their schedule fell into absolute shambles. It pushed them right to the edge of giving up. And in their absolute darkest moment, sitting there in the dust and debris, basically ready to sell the whole thing and walk away, their young son Nathan just zips past them on his little scooter. He pats one of the scarred walls and says, "It's okay, Mommy, I'm fixing it too." And in that one instant, he reminded them exactly why they could not be. And that brings us right back to today, where these two incredible stories of transformation, the city's massive hardware upgrade and this family's deeply personal software project, are finally ready to converge. When you boil it all down, it's this simple. The Port of Los Angeles built a world-class stage, and the Don Allen experience with Voxel Labs built the microphone, and they're ready to hand it to the community so their stories can finally be heard loud and clear. And everything is leading to the summer of 2026. This isn't just some deadline on the calendar, it's a season of promises being fulfilled. The new Waterfront is going to have its grand opening. The Don Allen experience and the Voxel Labs will go live. And in the most amazing act of faith and commitment, Jennifer and Edwin are going to get married right there, inside the building they resurrected, on the very floor they fought for. So, as this new era begins for San Pedro, as the hardware and software finally connect, it leaves all of us with one really inspiring question. The stage is set, the microphone is live, the world is listening. So what story will you tell?